Okie doke. Hello and welcome to the first set of lectures in the course Economic Growth and Sustainable Development. And this set of videos, not lectures, sorry, this set of videos is basically all about the introduction to the course. And as you'll very soon find out, I'm going to do lots of very short videos to make it easy for you to navigate around the stuff. And this first one is a very, very brief introduction to the subject matter of the course and to the main teacher, which is me. Will almost certainly be a second teacher involved, Pedro, but I'll leave him to introduce himself later on. Okay. Okie doke. So, what is the course about? Economic growth and sustainability. So, what's sustainability? Well, I'm not going to go too deeply into it. I'm actually going to we're going to look at a couple of quotes. This is the first one from George Orwell, so this is like 70 odd years old. The world is a raft sailing through space with potentially plenty of provisions for everybody. The idea that we must all cooperate and see to it that everyone does his fair share of the work and gets his fair share of the provisions seems so blatantly obvious that one would say that no one could possibly fail to accept it unless he had some corrupt motive for clinging to the present system. Okay, so what's this about? This is basically all about fairness, right? And of course, if you like, social sustainability. And so if we're going to link that to economic growth, we could say, okay, so how is economic growth linked to changes in inequality and so on? If we want to reduce inequality, what are the links to economic growth, for instance? Here's another quote, which is from the 60s. So this is like 50 odd years old, from a very famous essay. I recommend you have a look at it. Brilliant essay by Kenneth Boulding. The closed economy of the future might be called the spaceman economy, in which the Earth has become a single spaceship. I would argue it always has been, but whatever. Without unlimited reservoirs of anything, either for extraction or for pollution, and in which, therefore, man must find his place in a cyclical ecological system which is capable of continuous reproduction of material form, even though it cannot escape having inputs of energy. So what's this sustainability all about? It's about environmental sustainability, isn't it? Resources, environment, the economy, sustainable economy in that sense. And this is what much more the focus of the course. Okay. So we're going to focus on the questions raised by Boulding rather than Orwell. We're going to focus. Oh, that's wrong. We're going to focus a lot on economic and environmental sustainability and little on social sustainability. And it's not, of course, because I think that social sustainability isn't important or interesting. It's super, super important and super interesting, but we can't do everything. Okay, within the environmental sustainability, we're going to focus mainly on non-renewable natural resources and pollution, not so much on renewable natural resources, biodiversity. Part of the reason for that is that we also offer the course of management of biological resources, which some of you will have already done and others of you might be doing parallel with this one. So we can sum up what we are focusing on in three main key topics for the course. First topic, technological progress and economic growth, just understanding economic growth as such. Second one then, okay, how do we link that understanding to non-renewable natural resources and the resource constraints? And the third one, how do we link that understanding of the growth process to pollution and sustainability? So those are the three key topics in the course. We're going to do some other stuff too, but those are the key topics. And of course, we're looking at understanding things and then talking about how can we understanding how the system works, and then of course how can we affect the system through policy to get the outcomes we want. Okay, and the second part of this first video is just a few words about me. Who am I to teach you about this? So quick background, I actually have an undergrad in chemistry from way back from the UK in the late 80s. Then I spent about 5 years or so doing all sorts of stuff, traveling a lot, things like that. Then I ended up actually working for Oxfam in their HQ in Oxford. So I was working on international development stuff, started off volunteering and ended up getting paid work, the advisor on environment and development in their policy department. And then in 1996, I ended up in Sweden and ended up getting into economics, and in particular, environmental economics. And I've put a link there to my Google Scholar page so you can see, have a look at my publications with the most recent at the top on that link. So you can see the kind of thing I'm doing. And basically what that's telling you is, if you have a look at that page, I'm publishing in the leading environmental economics journals internationally, and also in decent general interest journals in economics. And the topics I'm publishing on are exactly the topics we're going through in this course. So you might think, oh, I've designed the course to suit my research, but it's actually almost the other way around. Okay, I've been teaching this course since like 2010, and it's given huge inputs to my research, because when I've been saying, for instance, okay, I have to teach about economic growth and pollution, and I go to the literature and I'm like, oh, none of this really makes sense, or there's such big gaps in this literature, it's not really explaining what's going on. But I'm trying to teach this, so then that kicks me off to research, and led for it. So that's one example that led to the 2020 paper in the European Economic Review, which you can see on my Google Scholar page. So this course has actually been a huge inspiration to my research, which has then fed back into the course. Oh, I think that's it. Yeah, so that's the end of the first video. So let me see if I can find the shortcut here.